Hey guys, I actually realized that I've never spoken about doubt as a topic. I usually mentioned it, here and there in my videos, but I think it's a good topic to discuss and pay particular attention on, because what I notice is that doubt is one of the companions of insomnia experience, or even better said, probably it is like the part of the whole insomnia experience, like is insomnia, is a part of insomnia. So in this video I want to help you better understand what it is and of course how to work with it. And I want to kind of like start with just generally thinking on what is the problem here. So when the brain learns that not sleeping is bad or not sleeping is undesirable, it perceives it as a problem, it perceives it as a threat. And so our survival mechanism is going to do everything what it can in order to protect us from that threat. And therefore it makes us, it creates the urge to do something about it, to fight it, or to, run away from it, or kind of like hide and wait. And all its kind of purpose is to resolve the situation and bring us back to safety. And this is why when the brain detects wakefulness as a threat, anything that we do with the intent to escape or to fight with insomnia is going to kind of backfire and create even more sleeplessness. And that's what makes insomnia so painful and so frustrating experience. Now, when people learn about that, the way out of this insomnia situation is not by continuing to looking for solutions and problem solving sleep, but actually the opposite, it's letting go of control. What often happens is that doubt creeps in and starts kind of like telling you stuff, like telling you that it's not a good idea, not a good idea, and you should keep pursuing that. And it's helpful to recognize that doubt as a part of that survival mechanism, and that mechanism has agenda. Its agenda is to problem solve sleep, to keep that search ongoing. And what we are doing actually here is saying that no, we don't have to search. Actually, sleep is not in danger. Our inner ability to sleep is not broken, it's not gone, it's still there. It's like kind of covered by the layer of that problem solving mechanism and hyper arousal and things like that. So doubt in this sense is kind of a tool that the brain utilizes in this situation to keep us safe. And what is good to understand also is that doubt is very believable. And I remember myself that when I was in the middle of the struggle and I could always have some sort of like thought or hesitation about whether I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm actually wasting my time and I should keep doing something. Maybe I should visit, I don't know, like another doctor or take another supplement or research something. So I was always skeptical of the idea of actually letting go of control and becoming okay with wakefulness. And and in that moment, it felt like all these kind of like thoughts, all this doubt was so believable. It felt so real. I could not even I took it as a healthy skepticism, which is in itself, doubting stuff, doubting things as they are, is helpful. But what I find that during insomnia, that doubt usually is kind of is a mask that problem-solving mechanism is wearing. So what it would always try to do is it will try to kind of bring you back to that problem-solving game and those maintaining insomnia. And what I also noticed is that the doubt always seems to hit the right spot. It always knew what I'm triggered the most about, and it will use the scariest scenarios that I'm deeply afraid of, and it will kind of keep signaling me about it. So it was always, it knew how to control me. That's why it felt so believable, because it's actually deep inside I had this belief that if I will not sleep, then I don't know, I will be forever insomniac and I will forever struggle like this, and then insomnia would kind of the doubt would actually kind of creep in that moment and push on that narrative. But what I also like realize is that the doubt always has agenda. It's not really that innocent, when we usually have this kind of like healthy skepticism, where we just like, okay, maybe there is more to that or whatever. But in particularly during insomnia, that doubt actually had this agenda. It was always the brain's attempt to keep problem solving my sleep. And let's try to see doubt for what it really is. What is it? And simply put, it's just a bunch of thoughts. It's a bunch of narratives or like scenarios, prognosis, or whatever it is. The mind just comes up with some story that it wants to tell us. For example, if you don't sleep, that you are going to be super tired the next day, then you're going to be fired. And if you're not paying attention or you're not solving it right now, then you might regret it later. Or it could keep us like it can make us doubt about ourselves in terms of what if I'm not strong enough to overcome this. Maybe other people who overcame insomnia were actually different than I am, and maybe I have like a certain personality trait that will make it impossible for me to ever recover from insomnia. So all these kind of like narratives, like or the reasons why overcoming insomnia is not possible for you, it is the part of that automatic thinking pattern that happens when we experience insomnia. So the brain wants to bring us back to problem-solving sleep, because it doesn't. That's the funny thing about the brain. It's just when we decide to actually stop trying and let go of control, the brain will never obey to that kind of decision. It will not go like, oh, okay, then I'm done my job, I will not protect you anymore. No, it will not give up trying to protect you for some time. It will keep kind of like injecting either through doubts or through some suggestions what to do. It will try to keep you in that problem-solving game. And it's very helpful to realize that this thinking pattern, the doubtful thoughts, happen automatically. They are not our conscious choice. We do not create those thinking patterns. It is something that happens automatically. The brain just comes up with a bunch of stuff and just throws it at you, and it often feels like so believable, so that we immediately kind of like perceive it as, okay, this is really important, this thought is really important, so I need to really listen to it. And then we start doubting ourselves and finding the reasons, like what is wrong with us, why it's not possible. Now, in regards to what to do about that, I see as one of probably the best kind of like approaches here is to be able to recognize doubt and see it for what it is. Instead of instantly jumping on it, believing it, and really acting on it, it's helpful to take a pause or something like this, that just to see what is the brain actually telling me. Is it actually true, or is it just that's part of that automatic mechanism that is happening? And once we learn how to recognize that, once we become better at it, and we are not easily fooled by our thoughts, then that's when these thoughts, this doubt, stop standing in the way of our insomnia recovery progress. And here I want to kind of give you an analogy, just to help you understand better why it's important, just to realize, not to do anything about this doubt, not to fight it, not to kind of analyze it or whatever it is, like prove it wrong, but just like being able to recognize that for what it is. So imagine that you're, I don't know, sitting outside, and then you notice with your peripheral vision that there is a snake. So you immediately freak out and you jump and you run away, right? And that's panic, because we believe like, okay, this is something that looks like a snake, so it must be snake, and I'm just like running away. And that reaction is automatic, right? We didn't actually had to think about that, how to react, we just immediately reacted. And now, once we kind of like look back and see at that object, at that snake, and we see it's just like some green rope, just lying in the shape of a snake, then we realize, oh wait, that's just a rope. I see it for what it is. It's not a snake. And that's when actually the whole nervous system comes down. And I believe that this is the same situation that happens with doubt, when we recognize doubt for not as something that is like 100% truthful and always right and we actually need to listen to it, but more like look at doubt from the perspective of observer. So seeing that whatever the doubtful thoughts the mind tells us, it always has agenda to keep you in this kind of like chase for finding a solution to sleep, and therefore kind of like confirming that there is a problem to be solved and there is like we need to do something about it. And yeah, so that's just the power of being like aware, of being able to recognize things and see them for what they are. It actually can help us feel more not like victims of that of those thinking patterns that happen, but more like, okay, I'm just observing it and I see that it's just a bunch of ideas that the brain throws at me, a bunch of stories, and it has its reason why it does it. It wants to protect us, of course. It doesn't have actually any bad intentions, but just because sleep is beyond our control and it's not actually something that needs any like saving from our side, that's what's so painful for brain to understand. So it will try to keep saving you, even though the sleep does not need to be saved, because it happens on its own when there is no trying, there is no attention to it. So yeah, I hope that this episode was helpful for you, and let me know in comments if you have any questions about that, or if you have like some extra thoughts to share, and I'll be glad to read that and answer that.